When learning another language, it's easy to make the mistake of being a little bit rude, since you might not be aware of the phrases that are considered polite or impolite to native speakers. I'm sure you already know to say please, thank you, and excuse me, but today I'll teach you 15 more ways to make your English sound more polite. Polite English is especially important if you're learning English for your job or career because you want to have good relationships with coworkers, make a positive impression on clients, and sound pleasant during interviews. If you'd like to learn English phrases that are perfect for professional situations, check out my Business English course by clicking on the link in the video description. Okay, let's look at how to transform 15 sentences into more polite sounding ones. Don't say, I want a hamburger. Instead, say, I'd like a hamburger, or I'll have a hamburger, please. I want sounds like a demand, as if you are commanding the other person to fulfill your desires. And I'd like is a more polite and diplomatic phrase. Also, when ordering food and drinks, we often use I'll have. Don't say, send me the report. Instead, say, could you send me the report? To maintain good relationships with coworkers, it's best not to use imperatives or commands, starting a sentence directly with a verb like reply to my email, go to the bank, finish this project. Instead, make requests with the phrases could you and could you please. Don't say go away or leave me alone. Instead say, could you give me a minute? Or, sorry, I'm a bit busy right now. If a colleague approaches you at a bad time and you want the person to leave, use the polite phrases. Saying, could you give me a minute, is for when you just need a few moments to finish up what you're working on, and then you'll talk with the colleague. Or you could use the other phrase, sorry, I'm a bit busy right now, when you're in the middle of work that can't be interrupted. You can follow that up with, can we talk a little later? And then agree on a time when you're both available. Don't say, tell me when you're available. Instead say, let me know when you're available. Let me know is a nicer and more indirect way to say, tell me. It's a casual way to ask for some information. Or you could simply ask the question, when are you available? Don't say, you're wrong. Instead, say, I think you might be mistaken. Or, actually, and then say the correct information. Or, I'm afraid I disagree. It's best to use a more indirect phrase when pointing out someone else's mistake. So, I think you might be mistaken is a more humble phrase, allowing for the possibility that you might be wrong about the other person's error too. The word actually is used to correct an error and then give the correct information, without specifically saying that the other person was wrong. Finally, if it's a matter of opinion, then you can use the last phrase, I'm afraid I disagree. Don't say, that's a bad idea. Instead say, I'm not so sure that's a good idea, or I have a few concerns. Instead of using strong and direct words like bad, it's more polite to say, I'm not so sure that's a good idea. Or another option is to state your specific objections by pointing them out as concerns. Don't say, your work isn't good. Instead, say, I'm not quite satisfied with this work. Or, to be honest, this needs some improvement. One of the hardest things to do is telling somebody that their work doesn't meet the standards or expectations. But you can make it easier for the other person to accept that by using the polite phrases. The expression, to be honest, is often used when you are going to state an opinion that other people might not like very much. Don't say, I don't like the colors in this design. Instead, say, I'm not too fond of the colors in this design, or I'd prefer to use different colors in this design. When reviewing work, avoid negative statements like, I don't like. Instead, you can use a more indirect form like, I'm not too fond of, or I'm not a fan of. Another option is to state what you want to see instead by using I'd prefer or I'd rather. Now you know a number of ways to express things more politely in English. These phrases are useful in lots of different situations. And you can join my Business English course to learn more specifically what to say in interviews, meetings, negotiations, and conversations with customers and coworkers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.